Health. It's all about me. When I used to think of health, I thought of three types: mental, physical, and emotional. There are actually 6 types of health: physical, mental, social, intellectual, environmental, and consumer. When most people think of physical health, they think of fitness, when actually, nutrition plays a role too. Physical fitness is the ability to carry out daily tasks easily and have enough reserved energy to respond to unexpected demands. By being physically active, it can help control weight, reduce risk of heart disease, improve mental health and mood, and even improve sleep. Exercise can help someone look and feel good about themselves. During quarantine, after lack of exercise, I found myself having trouble falling asleep and having lack of motivation. When I changed my habits, I found that my mood improved and I was able to complete more tasks throughout the day. I run on the track, play basketball, and occasionally lift weights. For nutrition, the U.S. Department of Agriculture designed an easy symbol called MyPlate. This plate shows the different types of food groups and how much we should consume to stay healthy. It consists of vegetables, fruits, grains, protein, and dairy. You should also watch how many calories and fats you intake. Although some fats are healthy, saturated and trans fats are the 2 most harmful, but you shouldn't completely remove fats from your diet. I used to put a lot of focus on physical fitness over nutrition. Sometimes I would watch my calorie intake, but never took the time to look at food labels to see what I was consuming. Food labels are a great way to take note on what you're putting into your body. When it came to social health, I used to think it was about who I associated myself with. Although it is about relationships, sexual intercourse and making the right birth control choices also play a role. Not all birth control methods are as effective as others. Some may even help protect against sexually transmitted diseases, while others may not. Birth control can consist of abstinence, withdrawal, condoms, the pill, and even an IUD. Abstinence is the only form of birth control that is 100% effective in preventing pregnancy and STDs, while the others may be highly effective, they don't always work. Something that's often looked over is a way males can prevent pregnancy. Men can get a procedure called a vasectomy, a procedure that closes or blocks the tubes that carry sperm. Women can also get a procedure called sterilization that involves the blocking of a woman's fallopian tubes. Emergency contraception is another option. Women should feel free to take the morning after pill whenever they feel necessary. However, it is not recommended as an ongoing form of birth control because it's not as effective at preventing pregnancy as other birth control methods. A common misconception is the morning after pill will affect a woman's fertility, but frequent use may cause irregular and unpredictable periods. It's important to understand and manage our emotions to keep a healthy mind and lifestyle. To express emotions in healthful ways, you should identify the emotion, identify the source of the emotion, decide when to respond to it, choose a responsible and healthful response, and protect your health. There are 6 types of emotions: grief, anger, envy, jealousy, fear, and love. Stress is the response of the body to the demands of daily living. In short bursts, stress can be positive, such as avoiding danger or meeting a deadline, but when stress lasts a long time, it can damage your health. Some signs of stress can include memory problems, moodiness, aches and pains, isolating yourself from others, and even eating more or less than normal. There are 2 different types of stress: acute and chronic. The body reacts to stress by releasing hormones, making your brain more alert, muscles to tense, and increase your pulse. In the beginning of quarantine, I became more stressed and felt my brain become more alert because my mind was racing with schoolwork and trying to find things to do. Expressing emotions in healthful ways not only helps keep a healthy mind, but it also can help manage and prevent stress. Intellectual health involves drugs, alcohol, and vaping. Types of drugs include different types of prescription drugs, cocaine, heroin, inhalants, MDMA, marijuana, methamphetamines, and steroids. Drugs are chemical substances that can change how the body and mind work. It can harm your brain and body, sometimes permanently, and even affect people around you like friends and family. A beer or glass of wine is a common way Americans choose to wind down their day. Risky drinking may be a sign of a medical condition called alcohol use disorder. An estimated 16 million people, adults and adolescents, have it in the U.S. Alcohol is involved in 50% of all driving fatalities, 60% involving teens. It plays a role in 37 out of 100 suicides, and 3 out of 4 spouse violence victims report the use of alcohol by the offender. Not everyone who uses drugs and alcohol becomes addicted, but addiction is still a chronic brain disease. Treatments for drug and alcohol abuse include counseling, medicines, or both. Vaping is the inhaling of a vapor created by an e-cigarette or other device. It can put toxic metals into your lungs and then into your body. Vaping puts nicotine into the body. It's highly addictive and can slow brain development in teens and affects memory, concentration, learning, self-control, attention, and mood. It can increase the risk of other types of addiction later in life, irritate the lungs, and even cause serious lung damage and disease. Even if you don't vape every day, you can still get addicted. How quickly someone gets addicted to nicotine varies. There are still unknown health effects to vaping. Long-term consequences are yet to be known, but recent studies report serious lung damage and even death. Consumer health involves advertising. Advertising appeals are methods used to influence people to choose their products. There are 4 types of advertising red flags: free trials, limited supply, testimonials, and guarantee of cure satisfaction. If it seems too good to be true, you're probably right. There is nothing wrong with companies producing advertisements in order for large amounts of people to learn about their product. However, as the years have progressed, sophistication of advertising techniques has advanced. Ben Bagdikian, a media critic, found that oftentimes companies will dumb down content based on demographics to give consumers what they want. Companies want to target more readers that will be able to afford what they're offering. It's also been known that advertisers will Photoshop photos to make models or objects more attractive. Oftentimes, this type of manipulation goes too far. For example, cosmetic companies will try to make their models appear to have the perfect body. Since social media is very big, most of the people these advertisements reach is a younger audience. Girls in particular are often bombarded with the imagery of the perfect body. Younger minds are more malleable and impressionable, so even when it may be known that these images are manipulated, the constant message everywhere a young person turns says the same thing: this is how you should look and behave. Whenever I browse social media, I can always count on beauty influencers, like the Kardashians, to be promoting different types of supplements that claim to slim down stomach fat. I always find myself wishing that these supplements would actually work, even though I understand that my body is beautiful the way it is. Did you know about 14 billion pounds of trash is dumped into the oceans each year? Sadly, about 90% of that trash is plastic. Plastic doesn't biodegrade, instead it photodegrades, leaving tiny bits and pieces of plastic floating around the ocean, which fish then breathe in, followed by people catching them and serving them as dishes in restaurants where people consume them. By cutting down waste and increasing their recycling programs, we would be able to create over 54 million t-shirts if everyone recycled 1 plastic bottle, reduce the size of landfills, and even save money and natural resources. Recently, by watching Shark Week, I discovered that pharmaceuticals were being dumped into oceans, causing sharks to consume them. The show I was watching then explained how it's possible these drugged sharks could be linked to an increase in shark attacks. I decided to do a little more research and found pharmaceuticals are also dumped into our oceans. This environmental threat has the potential to cause adverse effects in both humans and aquatic species. It's becoming aware that aquatic organisms are especially vulnerable to pharmaceutical effects. For example, many fish and other aquatic species are experiencing increased feminization as a result of their exposure to birth control pills and other hormonal medications disposed of in the ocean. This needs to change. Whenever fish are caught, we can consume them, and this could cause the pharmaceuticals to enter our systems.